Welcome back, everybody. This is the day before the big qualifying tournament. We have FreshPro versus Blood. Now, there were a ton of players in this tournament, so I decided just to go ahead with the last couple of matches. That way the video wouldn't be insanely long. Blood coming in here was the cost control specialist. I love the cost control specialist. They might not be the best specialist in the game, but I've always loved the economic builds. The supply specialist is maybe better, just because they don't have that significant decrease, and having your chaff lose in the early game is quite difficult. But cost control specialist with this hand, pretty darn good. I love Stormcallers in the early game. Coming up against FreshPro, he's been on the channel many times. What a great player. Has a Sabertooth specialist. I really like the Sabertooth specialist as well, just because it appears on the second turn. That means you get that big power spike early. It can help you snowball. That very super heavy tank can deal a lot of damage in the early game. I gotta say though, these Stormcallers are calling to me. It's not very often that we see players pick up arc lights in the very beginning of the game, but I do like them. Just because most players often pick up 2 units of crawlers as their first pick, 2 units of arc lights seem to be a great counterbalance to that. Now the arc lights won't really do anything else against the tarantulas, but they will clear out some chaff. The wave clear is pretty good here with the Stormcallers, but the Stormcallers are our damage for Blood. So Blood needs those Stormcallers hammering away at the tarantula if he wants to take that thing out. There's nothing else on the field that can. Blood is going to find himself in a little bit of a difficult position next turn. If he doesn't get a drop of units that allows him to deal good single target damage, something like Phoenix, Marksman, Steel Balls, just something that can help him deal with the tarantulas and the upcoming super heavy tank in the form of the Sabertooth. These Stormcallers are going to have a heyday though. They're going to be able to rinse these Fang and then move over to that tarantula, because I think the tarantula will come in line first. Hard to tell. Ooh, those are some good hits though. Basically eradicating the whole unit. These arc lights are really well positioned just to eat up that unit as well. And now the arc light is here to take a bunch of damage. That way the Stormcallers can pop off another round of shots. This could go either way though. That's a lot of Fang here on the left. Will it be enough? No. There's another unit of Stormcallers here. Cost control specialist winning the first round. That's what you want to see if you're playing. Well, obviously, if you're playing the game, you want to win every round. But it's not very often the cost control specialist wins the first round just because their units are so significantly weaker. Okay. Farseers are great units. It's $400 unlock. Typhoons are pretty good. It's a little bit more money. Typhoon's really great at dealing with small units. So I'm surprised. There's the Farseer for FreshPro. Yeah, I'm surprised that we went with the Typhoons for Blood, given that he knows that... where's that super heavy tank? It looks like it was immediately eaten. Okay. Hey, one less super heavy tank, one more Stormcaller. That's okay. Not bad. It's not a bad way to play. I do like these Typhoons on the flank here for Blood. They just give him a lot of security against units spawning in. Only something like a Fortress or some other giant will be able to spawn in with these Typhoons just hammering away at them, especially with the support of these Stormcallers in the background. I have found that flanking has become more and more uncommon, partly because units have just in general become stronger, their initial shots dealing a lot more damage, but also because the time that it takes to spawn in, it seems like, I don't think it has lengthened, but it just feels like it has. Alright, let's see if these Typhoons can do anything here. Ooh, Stormcallers into Stormcallers. That is not what you want to see from your early game. Looks like the right flank is going to go very well in the way of Blood. Not going to go so well on the left here for Blood, though. This one Typhoon making a great name for itself, though. Already eaten up 13 kills. Not bad. These Stormcallers on the left are going to do a great job, but is there enough? I just don't see it. Especially when this tower drops. It won't matter too much, actually. That tower drop early may hurt more than hinder, as now these units are going to be online into Stormcaller range, and friendly Stormcallers are all dying. You never want your tower to drop first in that instance. Okay, I would have given it to Blood if that tower drop had been a little bit more staggered. I have a delicious cup of recaf. Been playing too much Space Marine 2. FreshPro picking up the improved firepower real quick, and it looks like he got rid of the tarantula on this flank. I've seen that most players don't really like the tarantulas. I'm not opposed to them. They're not great. They're not bad. I have done a weird pseudo build recently with the tarantula and spider mines. Just dropping like 4 tarantulas, constantly spawning spider mines in your backline. They can pump out a surprising amount of spider mines, and those mines do add a little bit of damage to the field, but more importantly, they draw away a lot of fire. I don't think it's very good, but it's something I tried out. All right, this right flank is being given up here by FreshPro. I like the idea. He is going to suffer a little bit this round due to this orbital bombardment. There's really not much that can be done about it, but hey, it is what it is. One thing I love about these Farseers is this missile interceptor. Same with the Sabretooth has missile interceptor as a possible technology. Having 1 or 2 Farseers here cutting down all of this Stormcaller fire could be very powerful. We do see 2 Farseers on the field in the very back. I mean, it's not bad. All that's being toasted right now is mostly chaff, but chaff does matter. If your chaff all dies, then you have nothing else to fight with. I do like that FreshPro sat on $150. He's got a plan for that money next turn, I have a feeling. It could be a technology. Oof, these missiles are coming in hot and heavy. Already deleting, well, I'd say about 4 units. Yep, there goes all the Stormcallers. Okay, so this is very much going to go in the way of Blood. With this early lead, will he be able to do anything? I don't think he'll have a huge amount of damage left on the field. Maybe around 2,000 damage? Is that going to be a slaughter? I mean, maybe not 2,000. Maybe 1,000 damage. It could be enough to deal significant damage here to FreshPro, which might put him off kilter a little bit. That's quite a few units of Stormcallers and some Typhoons. Oof, yeah, that does hurt. Losing about 1/3 of his health on that one round. It just means that you can edge out that victory a little bit easier. FreshPro skips immediately. You needed that 200. Blood skips. Missile intercept and a lot of Farseers. Okay, that is quite good. That should cut down a ton of the damage here that's been coming out of Blood. Ooh. I wonder if constantly recycling these units is starting to get the starting to get to FreshPro a little bit. Blood's units just seem, well, obviously there's more of them. We'll have to see how well this works out. I do like the shields here. A lot of missiles. Okay, that's one way to get around the missile interceptor, is just to have way too many missiles. It can work. I do like this. This should start hammering down. Oh, never mind. I was going to say that should start hammering on that tower early, but it will not be the case. Yeah, some of these missiles are still getting through, as there's just so many of them. Shields initially going down. Not a big deal. The Stormcaller's kind of inactive. Wow, it is freezing up these Farseers in a big, big way. But a lot of this chaff is getting through and surviving. Too much damage, I think, is tied up in the Stormcallers that now have a pretty good counter. We'll have to see if this tower drop will make a significant difference. It's going to take a long time, though. Perhaps too long. Yeah, these Farseers just chottle on through. Yeah. I don't like the heavy reliance on the Stormcallers here. It's an interesting play, but I do think there needs to be some single point damage here for Blood. Too much of his army was reliant on this one unit, and there was already a unit on the field that was a great counter. Both players skipping. Yeah, neither one really has a big unit. Oh man, that's a lot of Farseers. Farseers are great units. It looks like we're starting to recycle these Stormcallers. I think that's the right choice. I just don't think they're going to do enough. Instead, we're seeing a lot of Fang. Okay. Fang are pretty good. Not necessarily at this point in the game, but in a couple of rounds they can become decent. They definitely need some backup on the field. Increased HP, not a bad choice. it looks like Blood is now finally online with the rest of FreshPro. So FreshPro not only... FreshPro kind of has 2 rounds where he gets to play with the same even field as Blood. If Blood on round 1 and round 2 were to pick up both of these, that would be his $200 bonus, and then he'd be working kind of in the back line, or working with that economic lead. Blood has just now gotten both of those bonuses, bringing his units basically on par. So not so bad here for FreshPro. Blood still has a small lead. It's going to continue to be the case probably until the end of this round, but I don't see it going on much further than this. I do love the Typhoon Fang. That is quite a strong build. It means that your Fang can hide underneath these shields, your Typhoons can deal with all the chaff, your Fang can get in range to deal damage back to whatever needs to be done. It's going to take a long time to come online though, and just so much damage is being shot down by these Farseers. This is going to be a ton of damage coming back into Blood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Farseers on the field. Ow, 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 ow. Ooh. Blood is in a really, really difficult position, and this is why we need to be very careful when overcommitting to a unit. Electromagnetic Impact could actually be quite good for Blood. It doesn't disable them for very long, but it could make a bit of a difference. Yeah, just trying to cut down these Farseers for a moment. And grabbing a War Factory with range. Okay. The War Factory does cost some money every turn. For those who aren't aware, it does have a $200 upkeep per round, which means Blood is going to be only going up by $100 a round. Not great. But it is available to the Cost Control Specialist a little bit less expensively than most other specialists. So, oh, and he does grab the efficient maintenance, so he will still be earning enough cash. It's a little bit of a desperation move. 3 of those Farseers are no longer shooting. I don't think that electromagnetic impulse is going to last long enough. It should tick over here in just a second, and there's more than enough Stormcaller shots, or there's still a lot of Stormcallers on the field. This War Factory needs to survive and deal a lot of damage. It can deal a lot of damage, though. It has separate guns, so it can target 2 entities at once. It's going to be taking a lot of damage, though. Oh, I don't think it's going to be enough. It needs to kill the tower. Even then, it's going to be rough. Not too rough, though. Go, little War Factory, go. Down goes the tower, perhaps? Oh, and that's going to be not quite that. Are there enough Stormcallers? There are. Wow. Blood edges out a small victory. FreshPro now knows about the War Factory, though, and War Factories are pretty easily countered by units that are much less expensive. Something in the form of Phoenix. Do quite well against them. Scorpions do quite well. Not so much anything else. FreshPro picks up the Scorpions. Yeah, Blood doesn't really have an option here for the Phoenix. Those Farseers do shoot up. I don't think the Farseers would work, or sorry, the Phoenix would work very well in this position. Yeah, I think it's Scorpions for both players. The Scorpions are actually quite good against Farseers. War Factory does receive an upgrade. Acid here and range, or sorry, siege mode on the Scorpions for FreshPro. A very good choice in my opinion. Yeah, Blood is now working a little behind, not working with a ton of cash. FreshPro still has money to burn. I will say, being able to delete these Stormcallers every turn, that extra $200 is kind of worth it in my opinion. Ooh. Upgrading this research center to level 2 just to keep it on the field a little bit longer, relying more and more on this War Factory. So, interestingly enough, this Farseer does shoot missiles. So they can be shot down by the War Factory. If the War Factory wants, it can just trundle around and cut down all of that damage coming out of the Farseers. War Factories shoot down a lot of missiles. So they're really the only fear on the field here is that it either gets overwhelmed or that enough of these Scorpions get on top of it. We'll have to see. The missiles, it doesn't matter how much HP those missiles have or how much damage they deal. They're shot down by the same way. You see this? Looks good. Wow, that's a lot less damage coming out of the Farseers. This War Factory is working quite well, able to cut down a ton of these Farseers. This is looking like a complete turnaround here for Blood. Wow, look at it go. That was exquisite. This War Factory doing a ton of work. Of course, that acid is chipping away at it, dealing a lot of damage in the meantime, but I think that this is going to go very much in the way of Blood. We have to be a little bit careful about that acid, but as long as the War Factory doesn't sit in it for like 5 minutes, it should be fine. FreshPro, another loss. Now, he is in a slight economic advantage. Let's see how he counters the War Factory. Skip here by Blood. He needs the cash. Honestly, I don't like any of these. FreshPro also skips. Here comes the Orbital Bombardment. We saw that from earlier. Okay, interesting. Photon Coating. It does mean that this War Factory is now immune to acid. Picking up a second one as well with a ton more Fang. Wow, what a crazy build. FreshPro sitting on $1,700. Grabs 2 melting points. I like that quite a bit. I like that a lot. $300 left here for Blood. $900 left for FreshPro. I think the range increase on these melting points is going to be very important. 115 range versus the 155 of the War Factory. These War Factories could just push in and deal the damage needed to win the game. There we are. 155 on the melting point. I do like that. Some crawler support. Interesting choice. Just to draw away the damage of the melting points and also these sledges, or the scorpions, in siege mode. Oil here for FreshPro. Maybe just to slow things down. Yeah, slow down the center a little bit. There's nothing to ignite it, but you know what? It shouldn't hurt that much. With 2 War Factories here, though, the only damage really putting out is these scorpions on the left-hand side. And, of course, this melting point. But those are our only 2 damage dealers. Shield should drop here very quickly. Typhoon's able to make quick work of a lot of these chaff units. This War Factory is being held in place by those inexpensive pieces of chaff as well. Wow, Typhoon's doing a great job of just melting away all that chaff. Here comes the War Factories up the center field, or left field. Wow, taking out that tower so early. One of those melting points go down. Will there be enough to take out both of them? I'm of the opinion yes for now, but we'll have to see if this melting point can get online in time. It will not survive much damage from the War Factory. Yeah, it just melts away. And this goes in the way of Blood. What a crazy round. Is it the end of the game? Quite possibly. 1 and 2. Yes, it is. GG Blood. Way to just swings and roundabouts. What a great game. Maybe even game of the tournament. Who knows? Like and subscribe. Alrighty, everybody. Moving on to our semifinals. We have Doxun versus Only Fangs. Let me know what you guys think about just having 3 game tournaments. I think it'll be quite fun for the big tournament coming up tomorrow. I will probably record the entire thing, but we'll have to figure out where that's being played. We have Doxun. Man, he has been a staple of the channel for a long time. Typhoon Specialist versus Only Fangs coming in with Quick Supply. Okay. We don't see the Quick Supply Specialist too often. Ooh, needed a sip of water there. He is quite a good specialist, but I don't rate it very highly, the Quick Supply Specialist. I'd say it's probably one of the weakest. Just because, yeah, you're a round ahead of your opponent, which is powerful, you know. Always being 1 round ahead of your opponent is quite good. Is that worth 1 Typhoon? No, a Typhoon is 300. So, and the unlock is then available to get more Typhoons, which unlocks more abilities to you. So it does kind of even out eventually, but I will say the Typhoon is better. Just in general, looks like we have quite a long-range army here versus quite a short-ranged army. I do really like Stormcallers in the early game. I will say that Stormcallers are probably the best unit in the early game, just because there isn't really anything that can hurt them for quite a while, and the ability to shoot down missiles is really only unlocked a little bit later into the game. I guess you could technically play a Mustang on turn 1, and those might have missile interceptors as a technology, but that is that's a big expense to go down initially. Wow, it looks like it is just going to be a huge amount of chaff here for only Fangs. These little arc lights are going to be so overworked. I just think there's going to be too much chaff. We'll have to see how it hits. 3 units of crawlers and 3 units of Fang. That's a ton of units. Oh, Doxun gives them the old good luck. We'll see how this goes. The center actually will go quite nicely here for Doxun. If this arc light doesn't get eaten by a tarantula. No, he looks like he's going to be able to just smoke 2 units. That's quite good. Unfortunately, once he goes down, I'm not sure there'll be much else. Yes, now these little guys, yeah, very much going to go on the way of Doxun. That was a lot of chaff that just got eaten alive. Okay. GG on this round. These little Fang are going to go to their deaths. It's like a hurricane bunker from Space Marine 2. Get him! Or Hammerfall bunker, whatever it was. It only shows up at like one point in the game, but it did look pretty cool. Ooh, round 2. Let's see what we have here. Oh, really? Onlyfangs picks up the marksman. It's not really the most money. I was thinking that he might go with the Farseer just so that he has options to shoot down those missiles later. Maybe he doesn't have that tech. Both players go with the marksman. Okay. Marksmen are going to be considerably worth less for Doxun, just because there is so much chaff on the field. Actually getting them to shoot the unit you want is going to be a little bit difficult. And there comes more chaff on the field for both players. Okay. 3 units of chaff here for Doxun. I think that is the right play. He just needs to make sure that his guns have enough time to shoot. Onlyfangs is going to try and swarm as well, going with 2 units of chaff. Is he going to pick up a 3rd? Possibly. The tarantulas are kind of lacking when it comes in the realm of damage. It is going to be a 3rd unit. What is it going to be? I'm guessing crawlers. Place your bets now. Spin the wheel. Oh, it's a sniper. Cool. All right. The marksmen don't perform very well against the stormcallers. Besides that, they should do okay. Obviously, they don't perform well against chaff, but they'll do all right against the arc lights. It is what it is. Missile Barrage 1 goes down. I think it killed a crawler and dealt a bit of damage. Not the best. Man, this little arc light. Get to work, boy. Start shooting. Man, you've got a lot of shooting to do. Both of these arc lights have so much shooting to do. But now these level 2 marksmen are on top of the tarantulas. Will it be enough? Yes, very quickly. Ooh, this isn't looking good for these guys on the right, though, or on the left, my right. It will be enough. It will be enough. These Stormcallers will be able to take care of those marksmen without much issue. A little bit of marksman on marksman violence there. GG. Onlyfangs is about a little bit over 1,000 HP behind Doxun. And Doxun just hit his power spike. Oh, improved War Factory. Wow. I mean, you could. It's insane, but you could pick that up. It is free. I do like the portable shield here for Doxun. Giving these guys the portable shield and the barrier makes them quite tanky. Instead, Doxun hasn't picked. Onlyfangs did skip. I saw he unlocked Stormcallers of his own. A lot of the game has come down to Stormcaller wars. Just because Stormcallers are still such a powerful unit. That long-range artillery, man. What did Doxun do? It looks like Doxun went with the improved War Factory. Oh, man, after my heart. All right, let's see it happen. And some Mustang. I do like Mustang. They're good at most everything. They're not great at anything, but they're good at most everything. I'd put them in solid A tier. They deal consistent damage. They're a good number of unities. They attack, or entities, not unities. Good number of entities, attack quite often, benefit a lot from their tech. Good units. These little arc lights came to the wrong side of town. Looks like all 3 of them were walking into those Stormcaller shots. Oh, able to annihilate most of a unit with that Stormcaller shot. That was fantastic. This little guy, he was the middle arc light, was the hero of the people. No longer. Oh, this is getting close. This is getting real close. Let's take a cinematic zoom in here. Oh my word. Pew pew pew! Quite cool. I won't do that too often just because I know some people get motion sick and I prefer the top-down view myself. But for some cinematic shots, why not, right? Only Fangs was really able to level things out there. The offensive tactic is just a little bit too expensive in my book. I always value the additional drop. Wow, both players instead going with the enhancement module. Is he going to enhance this guy and then sell him? Yep. The old trickaroony. Can put. Well, I don't think he wants to sell these Stormcallers. Oh, in order to afford a fortress. Cool. Alright. I'm down. I'm into it. It looks like we have a lot more chaff on both sides of the field. This fortress, we did see fortresses earlier in the tournament that didn't do a great job. Looks like both players chose to place the enhancement module and sell. Or at least they have the ability to recover. More crawlers. It doesn't look like Doxun wants to recover these Stormcallers. Okay. Trying to draw away enemy fire here with the Dance of the Crawlers. It's been a play since the early game, but I do like it. This doesn't feel so hot for Doxun anymore. He was in the lead for quite a while. Perhaps this fortress is bait. Perhaps not. If this is only Fangs missile, it can potentially do a lot of damage. It is not. Okay. That missile, if it had come in and hit all of these units that are grouped up right here, oh lord, that would have been $50 well spent. I'd spend $50 every turn to kill off 3 or 4 enemy units. That's insanely good. Instead, just getting a unit of Fang is what it is. These Mustang are in a pretty good position though. As long as they don't get Stormcaller down, they do have a good chance. Oh yeah, they all got annihilated. No, I was going to say they do have a good chance to get into those enemy Stormcallers. Instead, just kind of cleaning up a unit of Fang. Not bad. Are we going to see it? The fortress goes down. This isn't going terribly here for Doxun. I don't think he has enough units left on the field, but I have been wrong before. Stormcaller shots were good, and Doxun takes it by just a little bit, the skin of his chinny chin chin. The game is about as even as you can get at this point. We'll have to see if these fortresses make any difference. It's very expensive to purchase them at this point. Absorption module by Doxun. Really? What does he have to absorb damage? Ah! Is it a melting point? Okay. I do think that melting point could use a little bit of support in the front line. And it looks like we have Mustang production coming out here for only Fangs. He needs to decide what to do with this enhancement module. He can upgrade these guys and sell it if he chose to. He does, in order to afford 2 fortresses? Fortress in the back line? No. Where'd that fortress go? Ah, there it is. Okay. Not a bad choice. Not a bad choice. I wonder what that means. That's the first time I think I've ever looked at that unit, or that thing on the unit card. If you know, let me know in the comments below. I have no idea. Alrighty, the attack increase here for Doxun should help a little bit. It's mostly just to get rid of all these giants. There's a ton of giants here. We did see those Stormcallers be sold and more Stormcallers purchased. Okay, hey, you're making $100 extra a turn. Yes, you're losing on that potential damage, but well, I guess you should say your damage is staying the same. Shielding here won't matter too much for only Fangs, as there is now a melting point on the field. Melting points tend to go through those shields very quickly. We shall see though. Drawing all of these units in towards the center field, where those Stormcaller shots can be just that much more efficient. Wow, it actually wiped a whole unit of Fang. That doesn't happen very often. Alright, this little melting point is looking like an old person outside of their car. Where am I? It's just getting torn up. Half of its health is gone already due to Stormcaller shots. It might die to those Stormcaller shots before. Oh, never mind. That's where that absorption module comes in a big way. That's pretty good. It's not going to be enough, but that is pretty good. It needs range. Once that little guy gets some range, he'll be in a good spot. But till then, he's in a bad spot. And only Fangs wins by a considerable amount. Let's see if only Fangs does pick up a specialist this turn. He skipped a lot. Oh, Vulcan for Doxun. I do like that. Doxun melting point. Vulcan melting point is very hard to deal with. You can go heavily into flyers to try and deal with it, but it is what it is. Both players just continually selling their Stormcallers and repairing or upgrading their Stormcallers. It's fun. You know, it's a way to make a little bit of money. It's kind of worth it. We see the range increase here for both the Vulcan and these fortresses. I would love to see a range increase on the melting points as well. Does Doxun have the cash? He does have the cash for it. $300. It's $300 well spent. I'd recommend it. It's a good upgrade. No, instead choosing to upgrade those Mustang. He's going to keep relying on those Mustang for a little while longer just to deal with these units of chaff. You know, the wave clear here for only Fangs is not great. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not great. There's what, 2 Scorpions? 1 Scorpion? 1 level 3 Scorpion? That is not a lot of wave clear. Compare that to the 2 Vulcans with range and a couple of Mustangs from Doxun. This might not go the way only Fangs is hoping. Granted, the actual amount of units coming in here is going to be difficult for Doxun's Vulcan to deal with. They're going to have to just hope to keep shooting at the right unit. I do like these crawlers on the flank here. Draw away all those Stormcaller shots initially because these units were all getting grouped up and these Stormcallers were just chewing away on that melting point. Without that, oh my gosh, this fortress is alone and afraid. Melting point should be able to hop right on him. Maybe. Nope, keeps getting distracted. Old Distracto is what we'll call this melting point. Come on, get him. There you go. Kind of. It might be working. Hey, he did it. Alright, good little melting point. Will he be able to hit the next guy? Yes, sir. Before he dies? No. Okay, well, there's 1 melting point left to deal with 2 fortresses. As long as the melting point starts shooting first, it should survive. Never mind. Not quite enough there. That range would be very important on those melting points, just so that it doesn't get into range of these fortresses. The melting point currently has to walk into range, get hit once or twice before its damage starts building up. Both players choosing the absorption module. And we do see the range on the melting point. Good, now they have the same range as the fortresses. That will be very, very useful. Once again, both players swapping out their Stormcallers. We do see more melting points and Vulcan. Yep, clear away the Fang. More Fang are going to be popping out of these guys, but with enough Vulcan support, it shouldn't be too difficult for Doxun to cut through this. Doxun's kind of playing the counter right now to the build. It's very expensive. The great thing about having all of 1 unit is that your tech upgrades go a lot further, but I do think that this is quite the counter build. That's a lot of Vulcan. 4 Vulcan with range, 1's even level 2, versus, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these fortresses. Man, those upgrades are very expensive at these fortresses now. Let's see what happens. Burn, burn, burn. These little guys are a little bit less effective this turn. Not by a huge amount, but a bit. Melting points aren't doing the best as of yet. Able to take out the shields. Here comes the Vulcans. Man, just able to roast and toast the majority of those units. You gotta love these little arc lights doing their best to stand at the front. Can these guys get online and start shooting the correct units? They're kind of getting there. 1 fortress goes down. Oh, this is the danger, though. Having tons of Fang popping out. It looks like several more fortresses have fallen. This guy does have the absorption module. There goes another 2. 1 and 2. Are we going to see number 3? Almost certainly. And now we just have to worry about these little Fang. Fang are done. Melting point heals back up, and that's that. It looks like Doxun was able to win by just the skin of his teeth there, giving us an 8th round in just this crazy giant game. Oh my. So the nice thing about Farseers at this point is they can increase your unit's range, which having all of your units have that 10 extra range is very powerful. Instead, Only Fangs goes with one level 6 Rhino. Both players go for the level 6 Rhino. I wonder if they're just going to sell it. Yes. Yeah, they do. Just for the cash. Not a bad choice. Hey, why not? That's a lot of money. That's a big increase. I was going to say, are we going to put it like right here and just let it get shot? I don't know. Fire coming down here for these Stormcallers. I don't know if that's a good option or not. It will slow down the amount of units coming out for both players a little bit, but given that Only Fangs seems to have more chaff, that might not be a great option. Stormcallers, are they going to receive the electromagnetic shot? He has the cash for it. 3 Stormcallers firing in, able to burn down a bunch of things. Might be a great option here. There is still several missile interceptors on the field. Oh, both players opting for the fire. Through the fire and the flames, we carry on. Let's see if Dragon Force can sing us home. These melting points do receive their level 2. That's a huge increase in their HP. That will help them quite a bit because they're taking a lot of damage from these guys in single shots. 1 shield. Will it be enough? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Man, all the references. Okay, that area is just like Inferno Town. Jeez, don't walk right there, everybody, please. There's so many people walking into Inferno Town. Oh, 1 melting point immediately goes down. That's not what you want to see. 2 melting points left versus this just huge amount of fortresses. But now all the chaff is gone, and the melting points can get online. First fortress drops, the second one will. Okay, are there enough Fang to protect these fortresses? I don't know. I don't think so. There's going to have to be a lot of them, because remember, these melting points are healing. Yep, just continually going all the way back up. As long as 1 Vulcan is behind this melting point, the melting point will be in a good way. I don't think it's going to need the support, though. Is it enough to put Only Fangs down? No. Jeez, that was a lot of Stormcaller shots. I was so surprised that that melting point fell early in the game. I thought that was the doom of Doxun. The moment that melting point dropped right in the middle field. Instead, Doxun takes the lead once again. Round 9, with this many giants on the field, you feel like the game's going to end in a turn. Only Fangs opts for the Photon, both players opt for the Photon. It makes sense. Is it worth getting the electromagnetic barrage? Probably not. There's too many missile turrets on the field. What are these guys called? Missile interceptors. Oh, but he does opt for it. I guess he's hoping to get a couple of through along with his Stormcaller shots. Both players opting for more Stormcallers. Burning the Midnight Oil. And grabbing oil himself. Is Doxun going to try and burn down the whole place? He could. I mean, we know that some missiles land here in Inferno Town. These marksmen have been leveling in the background. Oh, wow. Okay. They're dealing a decent amount of damage now. I do think that having a couple units of Fang right at the front here to absorb some of these shots early may be worthwhile for Doxun. Even just having 1 unit of Fang here, just to, take the first couple of sniper hits. Every shot that goes into a Fang is a shot that does not go into the very important melting points. Oil on this left-hand side. Oh, I see what he was trying to do. Very clever. That shield will cut it off, but that would have been interesting. All right, let's see if this photon emission makes any major difference. It could. Missile here is not going to do anything. It will just get cut down by the missile interceptor. But hey, if you have 50 bucks, why not give it a try? All right, out come all of the missiles. Oil and fire. Actually, we'll cook off a few units. Maybe an entire unit. All right, let's see what kills these guys, if anything, this turn. Wow, these Vulcan are just spraying and spraying. Look at them go. Huge amounts of fire on both ends of the field. Melting points back online. Both are firing at the very important fortresses. All 3, oh no, just 2. 3 fortresses are now down. 4 fortresses are now down. There goes number 5. I don't see this going much further here for only Fangs. A couple of one melting point has gone down. All of the Vulcan, except for our little trooper here on the left, or your right, have survived. Well done. Well done, everybody. What a match. What an absolute match. Cool. And that will be that. Once again, the dream team, the 3 Musketeers, making it through. It's enough. GG, everyone. GG. Doxun moves on. 2,000 MMR. What a guy. Like and subscribe. Alrighty, this is for the marbles, our practice tournament before the big one. We have Doxun versus YESWINBIG. Yes, win big. I like that. Both players taking a moment to think about it. I mean, the Rhino Specialist is actually quite good for Doxun here. Instead going with the Quick Supply, okay. Prove me wrong. And Fire Badgers. All right. Doxun opting for a pretty heavy opening hand in the form of tanks and marksmen. YESWINBIG gives them the old good luck. We'll see how it goes. Tarantulas, Fang, and the Fire Badgers. I do like Fire Badgers. They're quite good. In this case, oh wow, Doxun. You madman. Playing a Stormcaller early. And another marksman. Okay. Well, the plan is go heavy or go home with the Quick Supply Specialist. I do like the idea of using these Stormcallers early. They do work quite well in the early game, tend to fall off in the late game. Okay. We'll see how that goes. He's protecting them quite well. There isn't really any fast-moving units yet for YESWING. Oh, there they are. 2 units of crawlers. Same as usual. They won't really... Okay, there we go. I was going to say, they won't really be in the fight. Now they will. There isn't much to kill this Tarantula. I guess this Stormcaller and all 4 marksmen could do it in a very timely manner, but I have a feeling the marksmen are going to be distracted the majority of the time. The wave clear here is not very good. Are we just going to see a straight line across of tanks, Stormcallers, and like a dozen snipers? That'd be really cool. There wouldn't really be much anti-air, but it'd be pretty cool. I could just get overwhelmed by wasps. That'd be pretty fun. Just tons and tons of wasps, and then a few units of Phoenix in the background just to take out these tanks on time. Okay, well, we're working down the Tarantula at number 1. As soon as that's gone, these units are going to be in a good spot, but oh, that's a lot of chaff getting into these humble marksmen. Is there going to be enough? I don't know, actually. This angle of engagement is really powerful here for YESWING. The snipers are on the right unit. If they can work it down, yeah, and that should be that. Okay, winning by a significant amount in the early game for Doxun. Almost able to even up the health pools. That Quick Supply Specialist does not have a lot of HP. I feel like they should, but they don't. Ooh, Mustang here for Doxun. Yeah, he just needs help clearing away those units. Level 2 Mustang do quite a good job at that. I wonder if the Sabertooth... Yeah, I was going to say, I wonder if the Sabertooth is the pick here. Because YESWING already was going to have those Fire Badgers. Fire Badgers on the flank. I do think the Mustang will be able to take care of them without them... Well, if all of the Mustang are going into them, maybe. Maybe if these crawlers help out as well. Okay, the crawlers will be able to clear them out. This level 2 Sabertooth, though. Ooh, this entire corner is going to be very dangerous for a while. And another Tarantula. Alright, nothing on the flank here for Doxun. Doxun needs to be careful. I find myself in this position quite a bit where it feels like I'm playing with a lot less of the board. He needs to start kind of pushing back. If he doesn't win these rounds, he needs to push back in order to keep that tempo. Be able to start placing units in your foreground again. But we'll see. We'll see how Doxun plays. He's a better player than me. I've played against him a few times, and he seems like a pretty swell guy. Good placement on this missile. Should take out those... Well, it won't kill the tanks. At least I don't think it will kill the tanks. But it will get the marksman behind it. That did kill the tanks. Alright. Fire Badgers don't do anything. That's to be expected in their kind of come on the board stage. This is not looking very hot here for Doxun, though. His tower's about to fall. There's nothing that can deal with this saber-tooth. He's going to grab maybe one of those tarantulas, but that's it. I guess out of the 4, he grabbed a couple. Yeah, that was a huge increase in power for YESWINBIG. Just an absolutely insane increase. This is going to be a huge hit to Doxun's HP pool. How do you recover from this? Doxun's definitely pretty far behind now. Maybe picking up some Fang in the foreground just to slow things down a bit. Rhino Assault for Doxun. Yeah, that will work. That'll be quite good. YESWING might choose the Rhino Assault himself just so that way he can defend his backline. Rhino will be able to get through those crawlers. As it should. I mean, it costs double the amount. And you have to unlock it in some cases. Oh, is Doxun going to grab the explosive Rhino? No, he does not. He doesn't have the ability to. Shield. Okay, shield here for YESWING. Thinking about putting... Oh, I love it. I love it. Just really playing these flanks. I was talking earlier about how I didn't see the flanks played very much, but here we are at the top level of play with a bunch of flanking play being played in. That is so much fun. Looks like we just have more and more Fang to try and gummy up the systems a bit here. I do like this tarantula on the flank. I mean, they're pretty easy to deal with, but on top of that shield, it's going to be a hard unit to dislodge. Increased movement speed here for Doxun. Okay, he doesn't have very much chaff, and I feel like that's going to hurt him in the late game. Also, I don't see anything that can take care of the saber-tooth on the field. These marksmen just aren't up to snuff. Of course, a Phoenix would be phenomenal at taking it out, but we don't see much Phoenix play. Or at least I don't see much Phoenix play. Maybe in your tournaments you see them more often. They've been absent, I believe, this entire time. I don't think I've seen a Phoenix. Here comes the Rhino. He should be able to kill the tower. Let's see if it's enough. Looks like there was some crawlers in the back line there. Here comes the Rhino. Friendly Rhino. Down goes the tower. I'm still a little nervous for Doxun. I think it's going to go his way, though. With that saber-tooth out of the way, there's just way too many units on the field. Look at these crawlers go. Take that, Tarantula. Nearly halving its HP. That's not bad. These two Rhinos will make up in the middle. Oh, isn't that lovely? And actually, if that Tarantula gets caught within the shield, there is a chance that these Stormcallers knock out the shield. I don't think so. No. That would have actually been good. I would have traded a couple 100 points of damage to get rid of that shield. Just because now more and more units can stack up there safely. Ooh. Man, that extra attack is great. YESWINBIG chooses the Missile Strike instead. Playing very aggressively. Maybe, honestly, some Scorpions here would not go in a bad way. Sure, the attack is decreased by 20. That's fine. The range is the big one. You definitely want more range. Okay, getting rid of those Fire Badgers. They're not serving a purpose. There are still some crawlers here on the left-hand side. More Stormcallers coming out for Doxun. Doxun's answering aggression with long-range aggression. This is what I was talking about earlier. These spider mines from the tarantulas are quite fun. In an army that doesn't have a lot of wave clear, all of a sudden those those spider mines from the tarantulas become very, very annoying to deal with. They just keep on coming. Actually, they do quite well against Mustang just because they have so much HP on those little spider mines. They won't do well against the Rhino. I'm not sure if the spider mines do splash damage. We'll take a look, see here in a moment. Next round. I haven't ever thought about it before. Just because your units don't do splash damage to each other, I would assume that it doesn't happen. But then again, the Rhino, when it detonates, does do splash damage. So, we shall see. I do like this, though. This Sabertooth's quite a bit of fun. It will be able to race in here, but not in enough time before these units come and catch it. Alright, out comes these spider mines, and they should be able to get rid of the majority of those Stormcallers. Blammo! Was that worth the upgrade? Probably not, but it did look cool. Looks like our little Sabertooth is doing its best job just to get surrounded and eaten alive. Man, that is a lot of crawlers. There's not a lot of wave clear. It's all pretty much tied into these Mustang, and these Mustang are dying very quickly. 2 left. Oh, it's not going to be enough. He will be able to take out the Tarantula. Not before it spawns out some mines. The sniper's doing his best. Oh my gosh. They come. Who's still up? That's it. Alright, perhaps Doxun's realized that he desperately needs some wave clear here. The Stormcallers are great, but they need more units to kind of support them. Ooh, Lightning Storm. That's expensive. It will probably come off cooldown. The games have been lasting quite a while. Maybe not to round 9. Never mind. Yeah, that's a big expense for one use. If it was like round 4, maybe I'd pick that up. Redeployment for both players. I like this. Move these crawlers up. They've been doing a pretty good job. Have to be a little bit nervous about all these spider mines coming in. How do you deal with spider mines? Mustang aren't a bad option, honestly. They're not great, but they're not a bad option. Perhaps it is time to go into something a little bit heavier. Something that can give you a little bit more meat on the ground here, Doxun. He's thinking about it, though. He's still sitting on $950. Yes, win big. Only sitting on $350. His army consists pretty much only of tarantulas. Those are really the only threatening units here. Moving those crawlers away is a good choice. I do think Doxun would benefit from just having 2 more units of Mustang with range. They wouldn't be able to get through the tarantulas very well, but they would be able to get rid of all of this chaff. After that, maybe upgrading these marksmen would help a bit. It's rough. It's hard to say. It's really easy when you're the commentator, just saying, oh, you could do all these things, but what actually works the best? Well, that's why Doxun's one of the best players in the world. Grabbing the attack increase, I do think those marksmen could use an upgrade. Missile is not going to be used. These little guys are doing a great job, taking out tons of units. Level 2 tanks will be able to survive a lot more of the shots here from these tarantulas. In fact, they'll be able to survive double the shots of the tarantulas. That will help a lot. This Sabertooth is giving a lot of XP to whatever unit kills it every turn. That's something to think about. These marksmen could definitely use that upgrade though. Once they go to level 2, they hit twice as hard. And there's still a lot of level 1 tarantulas on the field. Wow, all those tarantulas coming in right on the tower? Nope. Tower here drops, but I don't think it's going to be enough this time. I think the extra HP on the tanks really made a big difference. Wow, those are some high-level crawlers in the background. I wonder what... Ooh, something drew them away. We'll have to take a look at what's in the backline here next turn. And now it's just a shooting gallery. These poor little Fang. I think they'll eventually get close enough to take out these marksmen. Eventually. If the Stormcallers don't come in and help. The Stormcallers are coming to help. Oh, they get one! Oh, they almost got the other one. I kind of feel bad. I feel like the Fang deserved it. A lot of Fang died. Poor little guys. So what kept them in the backline so long? A Rhino. Fantastic. Good play. Elite Fang? Kind of fun. Instead, it's underground threat for both players. Ooh. Well, these guys are level 3. Never mind. I gotta say, it could be a spicy meatball. Either way, honestly, putting the crawlers here would be a bit of a nuisance. Looks like it is just going to be a lot more crawlers here for Yes Win Big. Doxun playing these crawlers in the background. I think all he wants to do is draw these units away, which is a worthwhile thing. Also, upgrading this Rhino. Interesting choice. And giving it some support. Okay. You know, the Rhinos could be the wave clear. Does this Rhino have the ability? It does. He can grab the whirly-durlies or the whirlwind. That's not a bad option. There's only one Rhino left on the field, though. So, perhaps not worth it. These guys gonna get moved? I saw them highlight. Hard to tell. Lots of marksmen that could use upgrades, more Stormcallers, and a Wraith. Yeah, this Wraith is going to do amazingly well. There's nothing here that can really deal with the level 3 Wraith. What is it? Level 2. Level 2 Wraith, even. Yeah. If there's enough Fang, eventually they can deal with it, but I kind of want to give this one to Doxun, just for having the Wraith. We don't see very many of the Fang survive. these last couple of rounds. I don't think this Rhino has the gumption to do anything to do with that, but he will hold it in place for a long time. Kind of a waste, but he held that flank in place, and this flank is being held in place now. So perhaps it's worthwhile? Wow, drawing off all of these crawlers this way. Think if it had the whirly-durly, so many units would be dead by now. Here comes the Wraith, though. And it's just a bunch of crawlers left. There's a few Fang. The Fang are picking away at it. If it kills the Tarantula and turns toward the Fang, then that's it. Yep, and that's that. Yes, it's going to have to take forever to kill all these Tarantulas, but there's nothing else here that can actually harm Doxun. A good tech choice to make sure that he stays in the round. And honestly, it's going to put YESWINBIG in a bit of a difficult position, because now he has to be thinking about that air. Who's gonna support the air? We finally get to see if these do splash damage. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, there is some Fang in the background. Get him, little Fang! You got 30 seconds. It's not gonna be enough. Good job on the Wraith. And that's the scary thing when a flying unit does come out. You always got to be thinking, do I have enough anti-air? In this case, almost. Ooh, some Phoenix are nice. That's expensive though. Oh, I guess it's actually quite a bit of money for your cash. This is, yeah, that's a lot of money for the cash as well though. Ooh. What's going to be able to kill these fortresses? I guess these level 3 Phoenix, yeah. That'd do it. That'd do quite nicely, honestly. Do we recycle this Wraith? He's going to be alone and afraid very quickly. I wonder if we just use these fortresses as money pigs. Oh. Looks like our level 2 Rhino has escaped. Possibly recycled. Probably recycled. More Wraiths. Cool. I like it. Doxun does not have the cash to do anything with them. It looks like he is choosing to keep these fortresses. At least for now. Upgrading a Wraith as well. It's not going to be in a great position. At least initially. This little Mustang could use some help. Same with this fortress. Oh. Okay. We'll see how it goes. I love all of these tarantulas. I don't think they're very good units, but I could be wrong. I'd put them at like the top of C. We shall see. Man, a lot of units are being drawn away by this one unit of crawlers. That's not a bad option. Whoever picks this replicate first on the crawlers is going to be in a very good way. Alright, missile comes down. It's going to claim 2.5 units. That's very strong. This fortress is absolutely dead. Dead before it even, what, killed 7 units, most likely all crawlers. Not great. This guy, though, working on some tarantulas. That's what you want to see. Wraith in the background does go down. Did not last very long. This guy's going to drop pretty quickly. Getting worked on by those Phoenixes this entire round. Yes, that's the problem with Wraiths. They're great kind of tech choice for a moment. You don't really want to spec too heavily into the Wraiths. And what's happening right now is an issue with Doxun's frontline being mostly medium and heavy units. And once those units all died, the backline came in, which was a lot of light units. I think having a couple more lighter units at the front would help. Incendiary bomb for Doxun. Yeah, I think he's realized that, geez, there's just so many crawlers here. Burning off this front line would be huge. Big shields. If Doxun can survive another couple of rounds, he's going to be in a good spot. I do like the shield on the Tarantula. There's not really much that can deal with it. Ooh. Where's that? Okay, there it is. I was going to say, where is the War Factory going? Right here. Awesome. Honestly, if the War Factory was just producing any unit, I think that YESWINBIG would win. Missile Interceptor's pretty good, though. Is it? I mean, not really. There's a couple, 3 units of Stormcallers. That's not too bad. I do think that YESWINBIG is tired of having most of his army diverted, though. That's a good choice. We'll see if Doxun can pull this off. But our red player is in a very dominant position right now. Very, very dominant. I'm not loving these fortresses. The barriers will help a bit. Not a huge amount, but a bit. And more crawlers do come down. Do these crawlers protect? No. Yes. They'll draw a lot of shots initially from that position. Potentially even holding the Fang in place, but little does he know those missiles will not be landing. Wow, this one edge is just so powerful. The other edge, not nearly as much, but having that war factory just sitting right in the corner, that's pretty scary. Alright, let's see what the fortresses can do that have not made a great show of themselves earlier in the tournament. That's a lot of shots coming out of these wraiths. And there isn't anything that can stop them in the center field right now. On the left-hand side, there is quite a bit that can stop them in the form of those Phoenix. They might be able to claim some tarantulas here, but I don't think that there's enough chaff on the field. Well, it's working slowly. Tarantula goes down. If this Wraith can target down the Phoenix, it's not. Oh, there goes one Phoenix, but it didn't get the other. And I have a feeling that this War Factory is going to seal the deal. Man, this little Wraith, he's shooting for all he's worth, but it just doesn't pump out that much damage. And that is that. Doxun, real good show there. Yes Win Big does take the tournament. GG, everybody. Just before we go, I wanted to say thank you to all the players who did play. If you see your name here, great job. This was a very big game. Lots of players. I love that Mechabellum's getting some popularity now that it's at 1.0. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you all in the future.